And we are live here to talk about tonight's mid-season finale, not finale, but mid-season finale of Suits, episode 10 of season 7, entitled Donna. Now, we just watched it, so I just want to get really briefly, like, what are your first reactions? Shayna, give me 10 seconds of your first reaction.
I think pretty much I'm in the mode where like I sent Sarah this tweet that just said "girl," and that was the moral of the episode, and that's just where I am, just girl.
That is such a good summary. Megan, you're up. Like, what are your thoughts? Where are you at physically, mentally, emotionally?
Oh my god, I just can't deal with this. Like, I'm so flabbergasted. Oh my god.
Yeah.
7 years, guys. 7 years.
12.
It was
12. Honestly.
12/7 years in the making. This will be a very spoiler heavy after show. So we're going to just jump right in and talk about the end. So if for some reason you're watching this without having watched the episode, you made a mistake, go back, watch the episode first. That ending, before we even talk about anything else, it ended with a kiss, kind of long in the making. Did you see it coming? Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised.
Megan, were you surprised? Megan's out here. Yes, you know.
I was surprised that they actually put it in, but I wasn't surprised during the development. Like, at the beginning of the episode, I was like, if they had put the kiss in without having that build up with Lewis at the end, I would have been pretty mad with it because it wouldn't have made any sense with like Donna's characterization. But just with like Mike coming to her and then making the parallel between Mike and Rachel and Harvey and Donna, and then when Lewis came in and made the parallel between like him not finding his soulmate and then not letting that slip by, and then when Donna like kissed Harvey, it is like made so much sense, and I was just like, thank you so much for this
Shayna,
moment.
Did you see it coming? Were you surprised?
I went into this with less than zero expectations. I've said all season that I like almost didn't even want to see them get together anymore because things have been done so poorly. And like, I mean, there was kind of like this, there were a lot of people talking to Donna, like, you've got to do, so that was very actually well done. I did not see well done coming.
Yeah.
But like, even with all of that, I thought maybe like she was going to say something, or like we were going to have to wait until next season. And then the next thing you know, she's just like, and I like at first I was like, okay, she's hugging him, right? But then I was like, wait, she's hugging him with her lips, like,
right.
And that was kind of my reaction, like, oh yeah, she's hugging him. That's confusing. Like, that's one of these things with their whole like viewers see what they want to see thing, like.
Right. I kind of
that's not a hug.
By the time it got to the end, I was kind of thinking that like maybe this was going, and I want to say like by the time I got to the end, I expected it to be like a cliffhanger where we don't know what happens, and like that's exactly what we got. It was a cliffhanger. We don't know what happens, but I was expecting it to be like everybody was going to say this stuff to Donna, and then we just like see her contemplating it and looking at Harvey, and it's like left up for interpretation again. And I was ready to be like, well, I mean, I got to keep watching anyways, but that's kind of trash. But by the time they got to the kiss, like May, I was here for it. And it also had something that I think, like, I know I was rooting for. I know a couple other people were rooting for. I know a lot of people didn't want to see, which is Harvey and Donna having their first sort of breakdown romantic interaction while they were still with somebody else. Because to me, and this is kind of controversial, to me, that made me feel like it shows that what they have is like in a completely different field than whoever else they're dating. Like in that moment, other boyfriends, girlfriends, love interests, whatever, are just irrelevant. Like, and that message to me was communicated in this, and that's why I feel like it was well done. In the grand scheme, like in the content of the episode alone, so like micro storyline, well done. Macro storyline, I can't, like, you know, I won't beat a dead horse, but I can't say that that was well done. Like, they could have pulled off this first half of the season way better than they have.
Yeah.
But for tonight's episode alone, that was great. Like 4.9 out of 5. We should get to the rating. What's your guys' rating of tonight's episode?
How many tears, May?
Well, I cried like in every Donna scene like I usually do, but like especially in that last scene. But I think I give it a solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Shayna, what about you?
4.5, man. Like,
yeah,
there was some good stuff there. And there, again, like, I probably should have looked up like who was the writer for this episode, because somebody put in some good, like, I mean, basically, it was really nice in terms of some of the issues that we've had with the storyline all along, and some of the issues that we've maybe had with some of the response to the storyline all along, like, got into that story. Like, I feel like, you know, we've kind of talked about your basic white dude on Facebook, oh, Donna doesn't deserve this job, only because she's pretty, Harvey. And, like, they put that in there, in that courtroom, and they gave her a chance to respond.
Yeah.
They gave her a chance to give Lewis some of his own medicine, and I think it was, but whereas Lewis crosses a line, like, she was 100% in the right. Like, she asked him to be there for her, and he took the easy way out, and
and then they had him kind of address it at the end, which was nice to see, because you know, Lewis is not like the main character that I'm sort of like focused on at this moment anymore, especially because so many other characters, Donna, Rachel, to an extent Harvey, depending on the episode, and certainly Jessica, when we are fortunate enough to see her, have kind of taken my attention. But it is nice to see Lewis get some good writing, if for no other reason than it kind of reassures me that they can write Lewis well, because I think he's a character that can be quite difficult to write. Jumping into the chat, we have some messages. Wafa says, May is losing it. True. Stormy says, my Darby heart is so happy. I think our Darby hearts are quite happy too. And also, Rachel is finally getting to be a badass lawyer. Makes me happy. I agree with that. Shiamo says, May, I hope you're okay. I really do. I'm sure we all cried, but I hope you're okay. May, it seems a lot of people in the chat really want to know if you're okay. Are you okay?
I honestly don't know. Like, it's so funny because I was really excited in the moment, and then I went back and I rewatched every Donna scene, and then I rewatched the kiss scene like 10 times already. Trash.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I've been, like, frozen in the same spot for I don't know how long. It's just, like, so shocked that it has actually happened. And I think the reason why it's just, like, affected me so much is that it's taken so long to get here. And it's just, like, one of those, like, surreal moments where you just really don't know how to react. Like, it was, like, tears. And then I was just, like, I felt like I was going to throw up. And then I was just sitting on my couch. Like, it's such, like, a mix of emotions. And I'm just, like, I don't know if I'm okay. Probably not.
Yeah.
We'll see tomorrow.
It's been quite a journey, I think, for us as viewers, right? Because we've been invested in this, you know, for 6, 7 years, you know, however long you've been watching. It's been multiple years, certainly longer than many of us have, like, invested in whatever current relationship we're in, right? Like, it's a long time. This show's been running a long time. And I think it's reasonable to really be invested in these characters. Wafa says, we love you, girl. So hopefully you're okay. Let me give you some more content to make you not okay. So this is from an interview with Sarah Rafferty that was just released, and she's talking about this kiss scene. And she says, and I'm just going to read her direct quote, She says, we spent many hours on the scene and shot it many, many ways. And I think what has ended up in the final cut is perhaps the most ambiguous cut. It really leaves it wide open to interpretation. My interpretation of it, Sarah continues, was checking something for herself. But what you didn't see was all the shots of her reacting to what she received back from Harvey. Sarah continues, that didn't make the cut. Those were removed. So we, the viewers, don't know. We also shot a version where I say half the line before I kiss him, like, I'm sorry, Harvey, then kissing him, then I just had to know. That may have been too revealing. End quote. From Sarah Rafferty in an interview about tonight's episode.
Oh my God. Why is
I just like toggling back and forth between both your reactions.
Okay, know what? This is I'm going to somehow make this happen, but I swear to God, as soon as this series is done and over with, which I hope it's not too much longer because I literally can't suffer any longer.
I don't know what you're talking about. They were talking about season 9 recently, but go ahead.
No, please. But anyway, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen, but I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to have hope, but I'm going to get Sarah Rafferty in a room with me, and I'm going to sit down and ask
and recreate the kiss from tonight.
With me.
Hey,
Hey, Sarah Rafferty, if you're watching this, please, a kiss on the cheek would be lovely, or, whatever. But I'm going to, sit her down and, ask her about all of the scenes that I want to, but, mainly about her intentions behind the scene, because the intentions that she is thinking about will reveal so much about Donna's character that we don't know yet. And it would just be even when the series is over, there's so much stuff that is under there that we can't know because we're not the ones in Sarah's position. So it'd just be really, really interesting to know, her side of the story. Because she can't really say in interviews.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard without giving spoilers. So I just really want to know, what's going on in her mind about everything.
Yeah. We just need to,
she's such a good actress and she's so strong in that area. And I would be really interested to know that, or the different takes that she had, the different takes on it she had in different takes. So jumping back to the chat, Chiamo said, and I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, haha, honestly, I thought she was going to hug him, but then she kissed him and they never touched. So I'm currently in a state of shock, she says. Wafa points out he closed her eyes and he kissed her back, right? That's a question. And
right?
They descend into discussions about the actors kissing, which I completely concur, but Shayna, I want to pop over to you because I have a question for you on this, and it kind of touches on the discussion in the chat of our video right now, where they're talking about how Harvey reacted back. So my question's 2 parts. What did you think of how Harvey reacted back? I know that was pretty brief, but what do you feel like his intentions were in that take of the scene? And then overall, what did you think of Harvey in tonight's episode? He seemed to come across as that sort of protective best self, in my opinion. Did you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely, and it was so funny because he he's putting on his 15th tie or whatever, I don't know. And he's clearly messed up about this. And this was when we were just going to the mock trial that never happened. He's clearly messed up about it. His girlfriend is telling him how, oh yeah, you care about her, but that doesn't bother me. And I'm like, you're an idiot. But he was in character, which was just so nice to see. He was the man boy that I have watched grow up over 6 seasons came back, I think, in about the last week or 2. So what's going to be really interesting to see is, do they go back on this? Do they have him, have a reaction other than the logical one? Because I don't want to see that. I don't know if I'll be able to sustain watching through that.
Right.
But in terms of his reaction, I really think, again, we're back to Harvey being Harvey. And I really think he seemed very just struck, taken aback, it seemed like any question that you could possibly come up with that might potentially apply to the situation, I feel like that was there in his head, and you could see it was all over his face. Like it was like there's all these questions zooming around, and he can't even keep up with them because he doesn't understand feelings. He doesn't understand his own feelings, much less a normal woman's, much less Donna's. I mean, this guy who Mike's like, hey, bro, you should talk to Donna. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll tell her that, we kicked his ass. And I'm like, that's not what Mike is talking about. Like, look at Mike is being like earnest and sincere and like trying to throw you a bone here. And it's just, and it's going over your head.
I think that's something that's really frustrating about Harvey, but then at the same time, like that's one of the reasons where, so like in a sense we have, like it or not, Harvey and Mike are like the two main protagonists. I tend to not like either one most of the time, but like there it is. So in a sense we have Mike, who's sort of the overpowered protagonist in a way. He's overpowered, he has the whole like memory thing, which actually came up tonight for once. And Mike is also presented as somebody who can also be like social intelligence is okay with him too. He can connect both to men, to women. He can understand family dynamics. He was caring towards his grandma. He can, he's had many girlfriends and it's never been hard for him to have them. And, it's just, he's presented in that way where he's overpowered in many senses, but kind of put in a disadvantaged position, right? That's how Mike is given to us. Whereas Harvey is presented as, other than the legal stuff, he's almost underpowered in a way. He's not like, he doesn't come across as the nice guy. He is not very good at keeping relationships. So other than the fact that he's like in a great position, in a position like a super advantaged position where he is a rich lawyer with many connections, and like, whatever, like attractive, powerful, whatever, like he's not overpowered in like the emotional ways. I don't know. So when he comes across a situation like that with Donna, like he's coming across not just one of his only weaknesses, he's coming across one of his many weaknesses. It's just a lot of his weaknesses kind of surround the whole situation with Donna, and that's why she's always been there to like make up for his weaknesses. She covers for him in all the ways where he's weak, where he's been a bad judge of character in the past, and he's been lazy in the past, and he's had questionable morals and ethics in the past, and he's made bad deals in the past, and she always covers up for his admittedly many weaknesses. So in that moment with Donna presenting him an unfamiliar situation, he doesn't really know how to respond because Donna isn't there to save him and doesn't stick around to save him. She's just sort of like throwing him in with that one. I mean, in a way that like it seems enjoyable because like to me, the one thing I noticed is like he's never looked sadder than when she stopped kissing him. So like he's not complaining, but he didn't really seem to understand how to respond. Ken in the chat says, Harvey is Batman, a super detective at fighting crime, and can fake humanity, but struggles with genuine feelings, where Robin is more humane and more social. Robin here being Mike. I know we had a really good chat last week
really
as well.
Batman and Robin. It just makes sense.
No, you love that metaphor, right, Shayna?
I do. Well, I mean, it really clicked in, what was it, the 100th episode where Mike's talking about Batman and Robin. I'm like, he really thinks he's Robin. Like, they're not just throwing, like, usually they throw back these pop culture references with each other, and like, it's Batman and Robin has come up more than once, but I never thought anything of it. But no, he really thinks they're Batman and Robin.
And what did you think of them being Batman and Robin tonight? What did you think of the cases that they were juggling?
I mean, they were bad at them.
Yeah.
Like they didn't
Rachel
even
was great at them.
You know what I mean? They didn't even consider other things. And it's so funny because they're like previously on Suits, and it's the mock trial for that case where Donna got fired and Donna got rid of that memo. And like, they did it, 2 or 3 times, and we're like, oh yeah, because Darby. And we're like, and then when they, at the end of last week, when they announced that they were going to do the mock trial, we're like, no, no wonder they're telling us this. Meanwhile, all along, it's like, oh, and also like this case is what it's going to be about. And not only I don't think any of us really thought about that.
Yeah.
And
I didn't expect
Mike
it.
Sure didn't either. And I think that, that again, like Lewis was supposed to prepare Donna. He didn't think about it.
Right.
Harvey didn't think about it. Mike didn't think about it. Like nobody thought because they like their ego.
And I think it was what was interesting as well for me, it was a bit of a plot twist where I was like geared up for the mock trial and the mock trial never happened. Megan, I know you kind of perked up at the mention of Rachel. You want to take on your thoughts on Rachel's storyline tonight? Because I saw on Twitter you were pretty excited about that.
Yes. We've waited so long for Rachel to have her like shiny moment where it has nothing to do with Mike or her relationship with some guy or how she can't do something like some of the men on the show. And it was just like this moment. And she like took charge even with her father, where like Robbie is really intimidating. And Rachel's been intimidated by her dad several times in the past. And so like this entire storyline, I was like so encaptured by all of Rachel's scenes in this episode because it was just like her killing it, like scene after scene after scene after scene. And there wasn't really like any moments where I was like rolling my eyes during a scene that she was in. Like they were all just so well thought out and so well planned. I'm just like the happiest like I could be for Rachel right now.
Yeah.
And I think that she's like getting to this really good spot now. And it's just so amazing.
I love the storyline they have for Rachel. I love that they paid attention to a certain detail, a line I loved from her in a previous episode. And I think we had talked about it in our after show as well. We loved the line in a previous episode where she was saying, I don't mind getting down and dirty. I just don't want to be left out of the decisions. I don't know why my camera is not focusing. It's probably for the best though. Anyways, she just doesn't want to be left out of the decision making or like cut out of the thinking process. And we saw that come up again tonight where she didn't mind joining her father in this crusade. She just didn't like that at certain points her father had a tendency to sort of leave her out of the decision making. So in the end, the fact that he gave, or they mutually decided to give her the role of being the one to sort of run the conference room, run the business room, and present this quite cutthroat deal to these guys, I thought was lovely. And she did an amazing job. Meghan Markle did a fantastic job with the storyline. It was really well done. Ken in the chat says, Rachel was awesome. Don't leave Rachel out of the game. Yes.
Never.
And then Tishiamo says, do you think Harvey will tell Paula about the kiss?
Okay, this is actually really funny because I was like, while I was in my state of shock, I was like theorizing. And I feel like there's going to be a moment and like Paula's going to somehow figure it out because Harvey's like sucks at hiding his feelings. Like, sucks at it because he's like an open book. Like everybody is always able to kind of like tell how he's feeling. So I feel like Paula's going to know before Harvey says anything, or something is going to come out that way. And I don't think Harvey's going to be able to really say anything because he's now been put in a situation where he has, in a sense, cheated on someone, and that's something he's never wanted to do. And so, like, it's such, like, a weird situation because, like, he's never wanted to be that person, but then as soon as, like, Donna...
But he's always wanted to be the person who's kissing Donna, so, like...
Exactly, and so there's, like, this conflict there, but it's going to be really interesting to see how he reacts to it, and then how, in turn, Paula reacts to it because of her experiences that she's had with Donna, and then knowing that Harvey's dreamed about Donna, and then how it's all going to work out. But I think, like, Paula's not stupid to a certain extent, but she'll figure it out.
Shayna wants to make the argument she is, so I think I'm going to cut back to that. But I think based on what we've seen of Paula so far, which I won't even pretend to say that I think they're going to write her consistently, because they certainly haven't in the past. But if they are to write her consistently, she certainly has found out about Donna, Harvey's emotional connection to Donna. She's been explicitly told about Harvey's romantic interest in Donna. He's told her about dreams he's had about Donna. The only thing she doesn't really know is that they slept together in the past, but I think that's even been sort of inferred in the therapy sessions where she may have already known that. And she was quite willing to look the other way or even use that to her benefit. So if she knows about this, suspects this, or Harvey tells her about this, I could it would be annoying to see, but it would be quite in character for Paula to be told about this and just be like, oh, like you didn't mean it. It just like came up in some sort of heat of whatever moment. It's fine. We're staying together. You know what I mean? That seems in character. I don't want that to happen, but that would seem in character. Comments in the chat, Harvey's going to be distracted and off his game, and Paula will pick up on it just like she did his necktie. Shayna, you are the voice of the most anti-Paula. I'm pretty anti-Paula as well. I think we all are, right? What do you think? What did you think about her in tonight's episode, and how do you think she will react to this?
All right, cover your children's ears, people.
Yeah.
This woman is so fucking stupid. Yeah, she's giving Harvey like, look, this boy can't even dress himself, and she's like, this is how you can tell a man is writing this woman, because there's a difference between a woman that's confident in her relationship and somebody that's this fucking stupid. And that's Donna. She's all like, oh, your loyalty is one of the things that attracted me to you, and blah blah blah. Like, fuck you, lady. Like. You're attracted to his loyalty, yet you're totally okay with the idea that he has strong feelings for this woman who has strong feelings for him, and you sat in your fucking office while you were his therapist and fantasized about him sweeping you off your feet. What the flying fuck, lady? Like, the more this goes on, the worse that character is. Like, Aaron Korsh should just, anytime he thinks about writing Paula Agard, he should just
not
delete. He just honey, don't. Like,
so,
honey, no.
So we think that they should cut their losses and have her make a graceful exit, as graceful as she can be.
Come back in January or whenever, and she's just mysteriously like been abducted by aliens, never to return. Like,
abducted by aliens, she'll show up on the new season of the X-Files.
No.
Because Chris Carter would have her sleep with Mulder.
No.
Because look,
she could sleep with Scully. It's fine.
Oh yeah,
sure. I'm like spitting at the very thought. Sorry,
Scully's
Monica
are higher than that. Okay, no. Like the longer this character is here, she in season 5 was this intelligent woman who was useful, who like had a storyline separate from Harvey Specter's dick. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they brought her back in season 7. Immediately they undid that with the I was fantasizing. No. Okay. First, I'm still no on that. Second of all,
I'm just gonna say, I know I've said this before, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I do think that even from the beginning, even before they had her romantically linked with Harvey, they shot themselves in the foot with her by the ageist casting, sexist casting. I don't know. The casting for her was wrong. The casting didn't fit the casting call. The casting didn't fit what they were originally writing her as, and the casting doesn't fit who would play a therapist. And then they proceeded to write her as not a therapist, but as a love interest. So I think they were screwed from the get-go for that. Nothing against this actress. I'm sure she's a lovely person who does a great acting job. Clearly, she's doing a great enough acting job to get all of us to dislike her as the other person. So kudos to Christina Cole for that. I think that's her name. But unfortunately, she's had to basically play 2 different characters on this show and has had to go through a character assassination arc. And at this point, I think it would probably be best for her to gracefully exit, because even though they could do some interesting things with her around, they have not necessarily proven that she's a character that they can write very well. Jumping into the chat, because there's a few messages and I don't want to forget them. The key is, one message reads, whether Harvey says he and Donna kissed or Donna kissed Harvey. How's he going to explain it? How did Harvey interpret it? That is an excellent question. And then Ken says, Donna told Paula that she remembered Harvey and Paula's 2-month anniversary more than Harvey remembered. A good point. Paula has had no shortage of information. She's certainly known what she was getting herself into and kind of willingly and sort of blindly, or apparently blindly, went into it. Anyways, we also have a lot of love in the chat for Shayna. We have Shayna, yes, with like 6 S's. Shayna, you are making my life. Thank you. And then some people
welcome.
Forward to all the late nights with Darby in next half. That's Shiamo, and I'm probably saying your name wrong as well, but it looks so pretty, and my mouth is so bad at saying names. So let's jump on that question. Do you think Harvey interpreted that as Donna kissing him, or do you think he interpreted that as they kissed each other?
I think no, my turn to go first. First.
I
really think again.
May,
think about this.
May is like jumps on the camera.
I think again we have I think it's gonna be both, because we have to think about this, assuming that in character Harvey is back to stay and that Henry is dead. On the one hand, he doesn't understand feelings. He doesn't understand what's going on, so he's gonna be like, I just went to work and Donna kissed me. So I think there's going to be some dumb boy Harvey happening there.
I mean, he's going to sound pleased about it, though, because he was quite pleased.
But that's the thing. I think he really is going to just sound dumb, but pleased. Like, I don't think he gets it. But at the same time, I think because he has his issues with infidelity, he's going to have a lot of guilt, especially if he doesn't tell Paula dum-dum right away. I think he's going to build on his guilt. So in some sense, he's going to feel like he's going to feel like it took both of them, because he's going to feel that guilt, but I don't think that's going to be a conscious thing. I think he's just going to be off his game, and his overarching explanation, because he just doesn't get it, is Donna's lips just fell on my mouth because why is Donna kissing me?
Slightly taking the side of he's gonna see it as like Donna kissed him and he doesn't know what happened after that. Megan, what do you think?
Okay, so let's just take a second to get the image of Harvey's face when Donna left into our brains. Okay, we have that in our head. Now let's flash back 2 seasons to the I love you, Donna. And then his face as soon as he left that apartment. Similarities, they're literally exactly the same. So I feel like what's going to happen is we're going to have Harvey being like trying to push it away, but he's going to like realize that all of these things that have happened and all the feelings that he's had for Donna over the years are going to start to resurface, and he's going to be really confused. But I think also with Donna, she's going to be almost like Harvey was at first and try to either take it back in a sense or not, because they're just like, they've opened it up completely. Like they've had a rule like they're not even supposed to touch and different things like this. Do you know what I mean? So it's like open Pandora's box up. And so I feel like there's just going to be a lot of awkwardness and a lot of tension, because like as they're adults, but in a sense they're children, because they don't know how to handle their feelings appropriately when it comes to one another. So there's going to be a lot of tension, and like it's just going to be painful, I think, to watch at first. Or Suits is going to take a complete 180 from the usual writing, and it's all going to be fucking Jim Dandy, happy sunflowers, and they're going to get married and live happily ever after. But I don't see that happening. So
let me tell you what's going to happen. So we got 6 episodes in the back half. Here's what's going to happen. Is this thing on? Let me tell you. Okay. So is this going to stay put, or am I going to actually have to hold it? It's going to stay put. Donna is, as I think both of you kind of said at some point tonight, going to kind of walk it back a bit. Like this was extremely impulsive for her. She was told something that she has been told before by the exact same people before, right? Mike has said this sort of thing before. Rachel has said this sort of thing before. And Lewis has given an almost identical speech before after Norma died. He said almost the same thing. We had shots of Harvey and Donna standing next to each other, looking at each other at Norma's memorial, while Lewis said almost identical lines saying, don't let the moment pass, don't let this, pass by you, or you'll regret it forever. But because those moments did not lend themselves to impulsivity, Harvey and Donna talked themselves out of it. Say, as they always have before, right? The difference here is they were presented the exact same thing, but they were sort of, it was like a lightning in a bottle scenario. Presented the info, and before they had time to even think further about it, they were presented the opportunity for impulsivity. So Donna was impulsive because all of this has kind of been focused towards her being impulsive, right? Mm-hmm. The second she has a chance to sleep on it, or back away from it, or walk away from it, she's going to try to backtrack real fast. And she's going to try to pull that same acting thing she did with Mike and just sort of be like, whatever, like it was just sort of in the, she'll try to walk it back. They're going to be all angsty around each other, whatever. Harvey won't know whether he should act on it or not, or whether, what she meant by it or not. She's going to try to overcompensate with the whole it's chill, let's not talk about it, let's pretend nothing happened, same as he did after 4:15 or whatever it was, or 4:16, whatever. 5:15. She's going to try to do that, and then in the season finale, this was the mid-season finale, in the season finale, Harvey's going to be the one to be impulsive, but it might be slightly less impulsive, it might be more planned, he might be more
what if they have sex
at this point, and he's going to be the one to be slams hand on glass wall, no, we're gonna talk about it. I mean, make up.
Y'all, what if we get Harvey being impulsive, but so we're gonna get so much angst in this next half of a season that what if at the end it shows them at Donna's apartment or whatever, back with not necessarily with the whipped cream, but can opener shows up at Donna's apartment, and then the end of the season is just Harvey closing the door behind into Donna's apartment. I would literally die. That would
So what you're saying is we're not getting a sex scene, but they're getting together. I'll live with that. Shayna, your thoughts?
I'm sorry, I just thought about.
You thought about Harvey and his beard.
I thought.
While you think, let me read some comments out for you to respond to. Yeah. Here are some comments. Comment corner with Shayna. Okay, first of all, Tiamo pointed out her name is pronounced Tiamo. That is gorgeous, and I should have been able to figure that out, and I didn't, but that's a gorgeous name. Ken says that he basically writes a quote of what Harvey might say to Paula, but he's basically taking, I think, Shayna's side, which is that he's going to sort of play I don't know what's going on. Donna kissed me. Why? And tell Paula, but kind of play stupid.
He's that dumb. He's dumb. He's gorgeous, but dumb.
Yeah. Tiamo says she expects angst and sexual tension. She agrees with May. She also says a flashback scene, maybe? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Wafa has a question for you, and I'm going to let Shayna take this one. What does Donna mean by "I just had to know"?
I think I read a little bit the TV line thing, so I'm a little bit informed. But I think the idea was she had to know for herself if there was something there, if it's something that she really felt, if it's something that. And I think she needed to know what Harvey's reaction in the moment would be. I think she needed to know. I think it was what would it be like? What did it mean to her? What did it mean to him? Put your hand down, bitch. I think she had to find out. The truth is out there, and she had to go searching for it. And I think she really needed to see if that, there's been a lot of talk about what does Donna want. There's been a lot of talk about, Rachel broke girl code a little bit by telling Mike about their conversation, but It worked out. So it's okay, sweetheart. I guess Mike's kind of one of the girls now.
Yeah, he always was. It's fine.
Yeah. I feel Rachel hit on it that, you know, there's that story between Rachel talking about it and between Luz talking about, you know, what Donna didn't want to miss her chance. Like, she wanted to know if there was still a chance there. She wanted to know what, you know, she didn't want to live her life wondering what would have happened if she would have said or done something.
Yeah, so basically it's like Donna wanted to answer that question and she wasn't able to answer in her head. And I think Donna can normally answer things in her head with her own sort of emotional intelligence. She does have a really high level of emotional intelligence, similar to Mike, but in a different way and probably stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, she realized she was not objective about it. She could act really well, but I don't think she was objective about it. And so for her to figure things out, like I think Donna was the one who's in denial about her feelings. I know there was an interview that came out prior to this episode where Gabriel Mock said that he thinks Harvey's in denial a little bit about how deep his feelings for Donna run, which is a good point. But I think Donna is actually in deeper denial than Harvey, because Harvey's at least, you know, he had some therapy sessions and he's had some discussions with both his therapist, with Jessica, etc., about sort of how much Donna means to him and how he may have these feelings. And, you know, he's had sex dreams about her. So I think he's not quite as in denial as Donna was. And so for her to sort of break out of that denial, she sort of had to have some sort of hands-on moment, literally hands-on, where she can assess it. Ken says, I agree with Shayna, except Donna walked off. That confused me.
Yeah.
Instantly read Harvey's reaction and left. Okay. Yes.
Okay,
Megan, I'm
I rewatched the scene like 15 times already, as like I said earlier. But whenever like I watch something, just because like this is exactly what I'm studying at university right now. Like, I always look at like what is the character's intention like in that moment.
Right.
And so like when Sarah brought up in the interview that they had said the like I'm sorry before and then kissed him and then done that, like I'm wondering if they did a take where she said like I just want to know before she kissed him, because that would change like the entire like feeling of the scene, because that would be like I just need to know, and then that's kind of like an invitation and then a kiss. But like in that sense, she like kind of took the invitation away and needed to get it done. But then also that having that after, it kind of is confusing because it could go one of two ways. It's either she kissed and like obviously he kissed back, and so she takes that as kind of like a fuck, holy shit, he feels the same way and there is still something here and she's scared of that and she walks away. Or it can be taken that she kissed him, they're like obviously they kissed, but then her reacting to his reaction could have been like, holy shit, I just did that and he doesn't feel the same way and I need to leave as quickly as I can. So that's where like they're playing with the whole, it leaves it up to interpretation.
Yeah.
But it's just like really confusing, but like you see what you want to see, quoting the Satan that is Korsh. But it's just like, I know why they took out Donna's reaction from the episode and why the final edit was done how it was done, but it's just like it's going to be super interesting to see how they approach it in the second half of the season, because it's just like one of those moments where it could be taken so many different directions. But I hope they stay true to the characters, and what's true to the characters is that they would feel something there, because they wouldn't have slept together all those years ago if there wasn't a connection. So I feel like this is just going to stir up so many feelings that they've been pushing down for the last 12 years. So I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Right. I think it's really interesting that like she sort of gets his reaction, or like gives him like 2 seconds to react and then like walks away. And I think it's very like, it'll be frustrating, but I think it's very likely that they're going to frame it as she interpreted him as not responding or not reacting, or just being, you know, he was in shock. And, you know, we've mentioned his whole thing with cheating as well. So that might play into it. And she might automatically take that as like, he didn't immediately say he loved me and kissed me back, whatever. So like, I'm out, like, it's fine, like, it meant nothing, like, I just want to check, like, I'm so sorry I did that, you know, like, let's never talk about it again, you know, like, she'll take sort of that route with it. Tiamo says we're gonna have to wait for months till the next episode. True.
Fan fiction.
Yeah. Get it through. some excellent, talented writers outside of the Suits writers room as well who play with these characters. If y'all are interested,
I do feel like
I do not
choice though,
write myself, but they exist. They are out there, like the truth. Let's touch on that little ending with Jessica getting debarred. Now we know that there's a Jessica spinoff coming up. But how do you think it's going to play into the upcoming 6 episodes where they're sort of setting up for the Jessica spinoff? Do you think we're going to get to see more of her? Is she going to stay debarred going into her spinoff? What do you think?
Well, okay, so there's a couple of things. No, I got this.
Okay, good.
There's a couple of things.
Oh,
there.
sorry.
One, she said Chicago's not going to give a shit.
Sure.
She did. I mean, and I think that's one thing that, as far as I know, and we can consult with whoever, you need a license to practice law in different states. Like there are people that I know that are lawyers, but they're not barred here. So if I murder Aaron Korsh, it has to be someplace where they're capable.
Everything said on this show is sarcasm. It's a legal disclaimer. We are not threatening to murder anybody. Anytime we threaten violence, what we're actually saying is we love your creative work and we can't wait to see the next 6 episodes. Murder is code for I love you. Okay, continue, Shayna.
If I do something, then so I think the whole. Granted, I don't really know that Chicago would not give a shit about somebody running a firm, regardless of where it is, with a fraud on the books and not treating him. But I do think that, the Andy, whatever, like Malik, is he really like Malik, like the actor? Like seriously, they named it, and Kittredge after Autumn. Like really, guys. But like
they're trying.
But I think it's going to be a matter, like, I think she's going to give PSL up, like they've said. Harvey's going to, his name is going to be first. There's, but I think Jessica, whatever, she'll be fine in Chicago because they've already set it up that Chicago's not going to care.
Right.
Or if Chicago does care, that's going to be where she pilots, is by taking that on locally, like rebuilding her reputation after this thing from wherever they are, New York, I don't know. They're
currently set in New York, and Jessica's spinoff will be set in Chicago. So that's a really good point that she's going to need sort of a different license there anyways, and that this was just a way, which we kind of expected. We knew this had to come for the spinoff anyways. Her name had to come off the wall because she's going to be at a different firm, and you can't have it in 2 different places legally and all of that. And it's sad to see it go, but at least we know it's going because it's going to be on a different wall, and we will get to watch that show. But she will still be in the back 6, which I think is really exciting. Megan, do you have something to add about Jessica? What do you think? Ken said, more Jessica, please. Too much is never enough.
Yes, 100%. That is like, I want that tattooed on my forehead. Like, Jessica is just such like a central part of this show, and I'm really glad that like Gina didn't leave completely, and she's always open to coming back, and she loves the Suits world, so she's like dedicated to this. But I'm just like, I hope we get a lot of her in the second half so that when it leads up to her spinoff, we get a really good send-off, because there's nothing worse in a TV show than when they set up a spinoff, Ravenswood, and then it turns out like terribly. So I have a good feeling right now that there is going to be more Jessica, and then it's going to be like a really, really nice send-off for her character. So
yeah, even if we only get 1 season or 2 seasons or something of a Jessica Pearson centric spinoff, we still live in a world where we got 1 or 2 seasons of a Jessica Pearson centered show, and that's more Jessica Pearson than we deserve, but not nearly as much as we want. There's 2 sort of board comments in the chat regarding like her being disbarred and going to the board and all of that. Tiama says, it's more of a question. Wasn't she already disbarred in season 6, episode 16, once she went to the board? And then Ken points out the Good Wife had the reverse plot where Alicia was in the bar in Chicago and Illinois, but not NYC. So it's kind of a cool reversal there.
What was this? That said that?
It says the Suits Jessica spinoff will be back to back on Wednesdays, with occasional crossovers similar to the Flash and Arrowverse.
Nice.
No, but
Yeah,
who
I'm
brought
really
up
excited
Alicia
about that.
Florrick?
What
Who
now?
brought up Alicia Florrick?
Ken from Chicago in the chat pointed out that.
Hi, we should be friends, Ken from Chicago in the chat, because I'm in love with Juliana Margulies since I was 10. Let's be friends.
Yeah, there you go. Which leads me into a natural segue to promo, you guys. If anybody, and we'll get into our final thoughts, but let me just tell everybody where to find you first. If anybody wants to go talk to Shayna, tell us your pretty Twitter handle.
I changed it to SML Rights.
Perfect.
It's easy.
Yeah, you can find her there, and she also writes for a couple different TV review sites, so you can find some smart stuff and fun interviews there. She did, I read a interview you did with a cast member of an upcoming ghosty show. It's pretty cool, so go find her there. Yes. And Megan, where can we find you to chat about Suits, and where can we find you to chat about other TV shows?
Okay, you can find me to chat about Suits at the Book of Donna. And then all my other shenanigans are over at Jilly Trash. So either one, follow me. It's going to be great. I'm constantly posting really top quality trash. So hit it up.
She does. If you go see Megan's live tweeting, it also involves live video reactions, which is fantastic.
And on my Snapchat.
And on her Snapchat. So you can go find these lovely ladies. And you can find me at Cammy and Ray. You know all of that. We won't get into that. Let's get into final thoughts. So we have a couple more minutes, and I want you guys to be able to tell me first your final thoughts on tonight's episode, and then I want you to also tell me what you want to see in the back 6. Where do we go from here? What do you want to see? What do you expect to see? So take that however you want. Use those minutes however you want. You can lump both your answers together. Just tell me which one of you wants to go first.
May is crying, so I'll go.
Megan's minute will be 1 full minute of her sobbing on camera.
That's quality content you'll get when you follow her on her trashy accounts. No, I think, we talked a lot a couple of weeks ago about how 100 was not worthy of a 100th episode. And we said it was especially disappointed because we knew these people were capable of more. And I just want to say to the Suits team, well done, congratulations. This is what we were looking for. And it's not because Donna kissed Harvey. Like, even if you cut that scene out, this was a good story. This was empowering to all of its main characters, except maybe Harvey, who kind of needed to be knocked down a bit anyway. This was, the development was good. The progression was good. It was well-paced. It fit the bill, especially for the disappointing build up. It feels like it's turned it back around.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope that they stay on this track. Because anything else at this point would just be lazy, sloppy delay tactics, which is what most of the previous work has been. In terms of next season, I think I've hit on that a little bit. That I want to just stay on track. We get that there's going to be some angst because Harvey doesn't get it, but overall, it needs to make sense, and it needs to not sweep this under a rug for the 7th season in a row. And I would love to see Gabriel's beard make an appearance on television. I think it's time for Harvey Specter to wake up in bed with Donna Paulson for real, not in a dream, and have that morning scruff. I think it's time for Beardrill to take center stage.
Well,
that's the bottom line.
I will hope on your behalf that well, Sarah Rafferty tweeted tonight that they are currently filming episode 11, so it will be the mid-season return. So I will hope on your behalf that that is still present.
It was there on the morning show, like what, yesterday?
Yeah. So unless he shaved in the last 24 hours, you may get your wish. This whole thing is extremely likely.
Please, God, don't let him shave. Please, God.
I wish I cared enough about men to wish for
Right,
that, but
me.
yeah, me and Megan will just be happy on your behalf if it happens.
I want Donna to be able to pet that soft, conditioned facial hair.
I want Donna with a woman, but that's like another topic for another day.
Donna and Lucy Liu.
Is the woman May?
Maybe.
Is the woman a Canadian named May with dimples and a propensity for crying?
Maybe.
Megan, what do you see going forward, other than you and Donna being together?
Okay, so I had a moment of reflection. So from the last, because I started this when I was in grade 10 and I'm in third year university. So like it's been a journey, you know, been through a lot with regards to everything. And then like reflecting just back on this season, like this was probably one of the most emotional roller coasters we've been on, like within 10 episodes. From the Darby storyline to Rachel's storyline to parts of Jessica's to Lewis's. And it was like, you look back and it was such like a jam-packed season. The way they approached it might not have been the greatest thing, but what happened, and I think we got a lot of good stuff out of it. So moving forward, I just really hope that they kind of step it up in how they're writing things, but the content is there, quality content, like Donna kissing Harvey, finally. So let's hope that they segue into it. What I would love is a lot of angst, and maybe Harvey, if Donna is all like, oh gosh, like he doesn't feel the same way, blah, blah, blah. I hope like Harvey like is like, baby, you know I love you. Be my forever. So that's where I hope this season goes.
Yes, that sounds lovely. So just jumping into the chat, Ken from Chicago says, imagine season 7 spring finale has Paula breaking up with Harvey and he finally admits his feelings with Donna and they elope. Season 8 opens with Harvey waking up with Donna and he has a beard. He threw that in just
he's pregnant or they have kids. Amanda's finally
he's pregnant.
born.
Harvey's pregnant. Harvey will be pregnant in season 8. Confirmed.
Harvey,
you heard it here first.
For all the ovaries that beard explodes, it is time for Harvey.
What do women see in beards? I don't I don't hate them, but I don't love them. I don't.
Most people I don't. But there's something very roguish and just extra hot about that man with a beard.
Ken says Mike, Lewis, and Rachel will be running Lewis, Spectre, Lit, Ross, and Zane, or will be running Spectre, Lit, Ross, and Zane in their absence. You bring up a good point. This isn't something I'm rooting for, but I think will happen is Mike is going to get his name on the wall at some point.
It's going to be Spectre Paulson.
Tiamo says, May, Harvey will knock on Donna's door and grab her and kiss her. There you go.
Yes,
no beard
I love
necessary,
you.
But it can be there, I guess.
Can you stop hating me for
it sounds like there's some top quality fan fiction being written in the chat. So I hope to find you all on wherever that go. Where do kids post fan fiction these days?
AO3, my dudes. It's the best.
There you go.
Tumblr.
There you go. That is the site that will tide you over until Suits returns in the spring. We don't have an exact return date. It has varied anywhere between January and March, but because this is not a year where we have Olympics interfering with it, I think it will probably be. We do have Olympics interfering.
2018's the winners.
Hey, so maybe closer to March. We won't know, but we will all wildly tweet out the info when we find out. And Yeah, I'm really excited. So basically my final thoughts were pretty well summarized by the two of them. But what I really hope that we see going forward in the back half is the writers not walking back on what they've started. I'm okay if Donna walks back, if individual characters walk back on what they start and kind of need to take that sort of push and pull. And I'm okay with that push and pull coming from the characters. What I don't want to see is constant backtrack with the writing. You know, once they've started these storylines, I think they need to go through with them. And I think a lot of these storylines should have been started and developed much sooner, but better late than never. So we've started them now, and I want to see the development and the angst and the tears and the flirty stuff and the tension, and the sexy moments and the angry moments and the whole thing.
God.
But, like, capitalize on all of them, write them, and you know, in the chat, Tiamo says Paula should die. Well, I mean, like, I wouldn't say that, but like, she can move.
Nope.
Maybe she can move to Chicago,
or she
and
can be
date
their
Jessica
pastor.
I do not wish that on Jessica. Let me take that back. She cannot officiate their wedding. She will not be there at the wedding. But yeah, I just don't want to see like large scale walkbacks and pretend it never happened. They can have individual characters do that, but then they need to like actually address it. That's what I would prefer. Just kind of be a little more, I would like the writing to be a little more ballsy, a little more like
consistent.
High stakes.
Consistent, yes. But I just want them to be willing to go for things that they seem to be way too tentative about. Like, we're 7 years into this. None of us are getting any younger. Half of us have like had graduations, marriages, and babies since the show started. Like Harvey and Donna can too. So I don't care about the babies for them, but like a wedding would be nice.
I don't want to graduate university without them being together. Like, that would literally kill me. I would die. That's all I'm saying.
It could happen.
Aaron Course.
You're a third year.
Yeah,
but like you should be proud of yourself for progressing faster than them.
Exactly. So Aaron Course, if I die before Donna and Harvey are canon on the show, i.e. in a year and a half from now, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah, ... is more ominous. You can leave it as a cliffhanger because he wants to sit here and leave every single one of his seasons as a cliffhanger. No tea, no shade.
Exactly.
Tee. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, Shayna. Thank you, Megan. This has been a fabulous first half of season 7 for the Aftershow. I don't know if it's been a fabulous first half of season 7 for Suits the show itself, but at least it ended well. So better late than never. I see everybody in the chat is swapping ats. That warms my heart. Find each other, make friends, find these girls, make friends. And we will see you guys at some point in 2018, the first probably 2 months. I know, probably the first 2 months of 2018, where we will be back to talk about these idiot lawyers and see if they've finally gotten together. And until then, you know where to find us. Bye, guys.